Kids do. I have a little one. Since then,
And they're gonna say that. But it needs to just.
Also, I have no idea. I feel that and she doesn't get not like his son was because he don't see them. And it's just one of these zones that area.
It's 7 o'clock. I'd like to call the Hancock Town Council meeting to order. Can everybody hear me? Okay, thank you. There's two there's actually three places to speak, or times to speak tonight. First, the public hearing on the boundary adjustment, public hearing on the budget adjustment, and just general public hearing information about any other topic. There's a sign-up sheet back there. If you'd sign up, if you didn't sign up, I'll give you a chance. I'll also call for people at the end of it. Debbie, would you like to call the roll, please?
Sure. Councilmember Figgy,
Present.
Councilmember Grubb,
Here.
Councilmember Holdren,
Present.
Councilmember Marino,
Here.
Councilmember Knock,
Here.
Councilmember Pettit,
Here.
Mayor Foskey.
Present.
Okay, you have a quorum.
Thank you. The Pledge of Allegiance.
I'd like allegiance to the flag, the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have any agenda motions?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda to add the Personnel Committee report and to add closed session. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Mayor, do we need to have an amendment to move council action, consider a motion for to council discussion,
I'm sorry, on what line?
council action on the agenda?
Yes, what,
C.
C.
Consider, I think public hearing or public comment in the hearing. And then to consider motion, it's a little quick. Can we move that to discussion?
That's up to, if you make a motion, that's up to council.
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
To move under council action, the consider a motion for boundary line adjustment, to move that to council discussion.
In other words, not to vote.
Correct.
Well, anybody can bring up a motion at any time to vote on. You realize this is just this is not a binding rule. This is just our procedure, but there's nothing to stop anybody from making a motion at any time, correct? Yeah. Okay. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Okay. I think that was 5-1, correct? All right, so that's changing to discussion. Item C, council discussion, okay. We'll put that back down, move it down, all right. I had my other motion is if it's all right with you, I'd like to switch the public hearings and do the boundary line adjustment first. I think we probably have more people here for that than we do for the other, if that's okay with everybody. Okay, all right. As we have a lot of people here, just one public announcement. There is a ceremony to honor our former Mayor Russell Jones down at the wharf at 11 o'clock on Saturday. We're putting a plaque up. It's a public ceremony. If you could come out, please, at 11 o'clock. Down at the wharf. Does anybody have any other public announcements they'd like to make? A lot of people are here before I get on with the meeting. Okay. All right. Consider the consideration of the meeting minutes from August 25th, 2025. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
A second.
Okay. Any corrections or anything to that?
Yes. Okay, the correction I sent in last night is in.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Also mine. That hit for future reference. I didn't change it this time. I mean, for future reference, looking at the minutes, I'm not sure people will know what Eller property is. Okay. Yeah. You could put a location.
Yeah, I can get it.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay. All in favor of accepting the minutes?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. Okay, I'm going to open the public hearing for the boundary line adjustment public hearing. The purpose of tonight's hearing is to receive public comment on the Nancock Town Council's intent to approve a boundary line adjustment. In accordance with Virginia Code 15.2-3107, which governs adjustments of boundary lines between a town and a county by agreement, and Virginia Code 2.2-3707, which requires proper public notice and open meetings. Notice of this hearing was published in the Eastern Shore Post on September 5th and September 12th, 2025. The property in question is located west of Hill Street, south of Liberty Street, and extends to Tower Road. The proposed adjustment is intended to clarify jurisdiction, align service delivery, and ensure adequate representation for the affected properties. The purpose of tonight's hearing is to hear directly from you, the public. When you come forward to speak, please state your name and address for the record and keep your comments focused on the matter at hand. We ask that remarks be limited to 3 minutes so that everyone can participate. Before I start, just to answer a few questions and give you some kind of timeline about how we got here. Our town manager's prepared a little thing here. I'm just going to read some of the timeline. The town manager approached the town council in a closed session to seek opinion and approval to discuss the matter with Accomack County leadership to explore an agreement in principle to proceed. The county indicated that conceptually there is no opposition to considering any change. The town manager informed the town council of the response and requested permission to discuss the matter with the town's attorney. The town attorney provided an outline of the process to make such a boundary adjustment in the Commonwealth. The town attorney approached the attorney for Accomack County to outline the process and to create documents for the town council and the county supervisors to consider. To complete this information required to move forward, a survey of the area was needed to be prepared. The town manager requested during closed session regarding real estate matters, if they approve the use of taxpayer funds to secure the survey, the council approved this at an open meeting and a survey was obtained. When all required information was prepared, the town council approved a motion to direct the town manager to prepare for the required public hearing to make all required communication and notifications. In coordination with Accomack County staff on July 14th, the town and county officials met to determine roles and responsibilities. We agreed that the county would provide the list of affected tax parcels and the town would draft a letter to be jointly signed by the town and county to notify those partial owners. The jointly prepared letters were sent to the parcels provided by the county, and the public hearing notice was advertised in the Eastern Shore Post on September 5th and 12th, 2025, for a public hearing to be held on September 22nd. Accomack County separately advertised its public hearing to be held on September 17th. Okay. Okay. So the first speaker, Mark Sinclair.
Good evening. My name is Mark Sinclair. I live on Greenway Circle, just outside of town. As I said at the Planning Commission meeting the other night, I'm generally a pro-development person. I truly believe that the town of Nancock would benefit from development and growth. But as I said about the Eller property, I think the developer has come to you without a really detailed plan of exactly what they want to do. I think they left a lot behind, and then for them to sit there and tell us, you know, the one guy tell me that, oh, he could build a lot more. I was pretty scared about that. I would also say that about the line adjustment. Where's a detailed plan for this property? This is kind of putting the cart before the horse again. We've seen that happen in this town one too many times, so I'd really like you all to consider it. When I first moved here over 25 years ago, I really wanted to buy 69 Hill Street. It's that old farmhouse that sits right in the middle of that field on Liberty. Oh, I'm sorry, on Hill Street. But I sat there and looked at it and looked at the property around it, and I realized that that was the most likely property to get developed in this town. You just could see it was going to happen. So I didn't buy that house because I didn't want to have a big development around an old house, and that's what I was trying to buy. The town, by annexing this land, will be giving up the first fight in the development process without gaining anything in return. I also don't understand including Tower Road in this line annexation. I'm sure the developer has a reason for that. I just don't see it. I'd like to know what it is. Please don't support this change yet. Now, as there's a Ravens game on, I was going to leave after speaking, so let me at least say I support the Onancock School in any funding change you may do.
Oh,
Y'all
thank
have a
you.
great evening.
Donnie Savage. I'm sorry. Oh, it's Bonnie Savage. I'm sorry. I couldn't read. Can't read my.
I'm gonna say it's pitiful after he's finished, but anyway, here we go. I'm Bonnie Savage, and I live on 19583 Cashville Road. And I've been there for 60 years. And my daughter is the homeowner. And her and I are in total agreement that we do not want to be in this town, be included in the town of Onancock. That's all I'm gonna say. I thank y'all.
Oh, thank you for your comments. Dan Fitzpatrick.
Good evening. My name is Dan Fitzpatrick. I live at 60 Hill Street. I'm one of the property owners affected by the proposed BLA. I'm also part of a group of owners opposed to the agreement as it was sent to us and proposed. The reason I and a number of other owners are opposed to this agreement, it's very simple. It's unfair and it applies disproportionate harm to a select group of property owners who would see their taxes increased by sizable amounts in exchange for services we have not asked for and are of little interest or value to us. The town manager has stated in a recent television interview that this BLA is happening because there's one property owner interested in selling a piece of property that includes land in both the town and the county. Yet this proposal includes a much bigger land mass that draws in a number of other property owners who have not asked for their land to be sold or redeveloped. Yet their taxes would be increased. This is a clear example of disproportionate harm. We and the other owners affected by this unfair application of a BLA ask the town either vote this proposal down or withdraw it altogether. If the town does decide to proceed with any BLA, we ask that more analysis be done about the impact and that the property owners affected by it be involved in the discussions about how it would look and what, if any, concessions can be made to ensure that no unnecessary harm is done. Thank you for your time and the opportunity to speak tonight.
Bonnie Warren.
Good evening. Bonnie Warren. I live at 25133 Tower Road, Onancock. I live with my partner, Daniel Kilman, who's been on the property for close to 27 years. We are effective property owners. We received a letter on September 5th about the intent to seek a boundary line agreement, including our property and others. This would allow more development of a large scale off of Liberty Hill and Tower Road. Some property owners didn't receive the letter. This is what it looks like. There's no return address. I think that's kind of odd. Maybe send in certified at least a return address. On September 17th, we as a group met with the Board of Supervisors. Personally, the town meeting should have been first, along with more transparency with all the parties involved. In the letter, it states that we would receive police protection. No, thank you. We already have Accomack Sheriff's Department. Second, limb pickup. Sorry, but that's not a good one either. The third thing is that if you're a registered voter, I can vote in the town election. Well, you got my attention. Yes, I haven't missed one yet. Election. I have and will do my civic duty. Example, I was on town council in the town of Keller. Even though that's a small town, I was there. Also mayor for a short time before moving to Anancock. Boy, does this town of Anancock get lots of grants, and that's a wonderful, great job to whoever's doing that work. By putting me and others in Anancock, you would like us to pay town tax. In my opinion, you were very irresponsible with the taxpayers' money and grant money. I am not sure that's a fair trade-off. I will say this matter has made me see I have a civic duty. If you put me in town of Anancock, I will run for the next election. I am straightforward, honest, and I fully understand the meaning of conflict of interest. I thank the town of Anancock for your town, and I want to submit my minutes. Thank you.
Grayson Williams.
Good evening, Town Council. My name is Grayson Williams. I live at 22 Liberty Street. I am a direct property owner affected by this BLA. However, I was never contacted by the town or county amongst this BLA. I actually had to personally send emails to the town and the planning commission and received no response. And then on 8/28 Eastern Shore Post, there was actually an incorrect email on the public hearing. So I actually got kicked back from the email. So I had to go on my own reconnaissance to go find the correct email for the county to receive the information, the resolution, map, and agreement. However, does not actually provide me the information that other property owners received. Would I ever received a letter about this? There was also a survey conducted that stated March 2025. Around late winter, early spring, there was a trespasser on my property, which was the surveyor. Nobody ever contacted me about that. I was out in my yard with my kids. Nobody came out to tell me that was happening. I did some research on my own because I didn't see anywhere in the agenda or anything at a town council meeting about boundary line adjustment at all, except in the August 25 meeting at the last bullet of the town manager report that says the county supervisors instructed staff to schedule and advertise a public hearing. What else is being missed? I was not contacted by this. Second point I have here, where's this boundary adjustment derived from? The only thing I could see in the Accomack County Comp Plan in 2018, under Chapter 5, under 1E, it just says to collaborate with towns on developments. Nothing about boundary adjustment. Nothing in the Anancock Comp Plan or anywhere in the planning. The only thing I did agree with was on page 7, under public participation, number 5, it states a negative, lack of communication by town government. Here are my questions. Why are we doing this? Why right now? Town manager and the town council meeting on August 25th, he was approached 2 years ago on this. By who? Is that documented anywhere? Is it for developments? Where this is all big assumptions that development will come into that property. What are the requirements on how this line was developed? I was never contacted. What else is being hid by somebody who pays taxes? Why is this expansion not documented anywhere in the comp plan, EDA, or planning committee? And what are my taxes being increased for? In conclusion, I am against this current request to expand town boundaries due to the lack of communication and lack of providing documentation in this support. Thank you.
Thank you. David, I can't read the last name here. Lives on 5 Fairgrounds Street. I can't even read that. You got anybody David signed up?
Looks like it starts with an S.
Oh, that was me. I signed the wrong sheet. Sorry.
Okay, thank you. Pam Fisher.
Hello, my name is Pam Fitzpatrick. I also live at 60 Hill Street, which is included in the boundary line adjustment, and I'm joining my neighbors here to represent our shared opposition to this proposal. First, I want to explicitly state and ensure that council understands this. The current proposal does not have community support. In fact, the owners of 9 of the 21 affected lots submitted letters stating their opposition at last week's Board of Supervisor meeting, and we're doing so with the guidance and backing of the law. Section 15-23107 of the Commonwealth Code states if the owners of at least 1/3 of the affected parcels object to the change, they shall be permitted to intervene in the proceedings as prescribed in 15-23108, which is the proceedings outlining the approval process, and show cause why the boundary line should not be changed. So let's talk about this idea of cause and why we think this proposal should be rejected based on the very limited information that's been shared with us to date. On a recent news broadcast, the town manager stated this proposal was prompted by the request of a single property owner. In other words, this plan is designed to benefit a single property owner rather than the greater good and to the detriment of other property owners. The letter states that our taxes could increase by as much as 50% of their current rates, which would undermine property values. And finally, the letter lists several benefits which would come from this tax. Those have been noted, but let's review those again. Police service. We already have police service. I live at 60 Hill Street. 59 Hill Street across the street is not included in the boundary line adjustment. Will they have different police service than me? What will come from the confusion of whether or not someone is serving 59 Hill Street or 60 Hill Street? If fundamentally the logic starts breaking down. Limb and branch pickup. To me, personally, that's not worth hundreds of dollars per year. I already have a means of dealing with my limbs and branches. Water and sewer. Here we have a double bind. We would be paying and taxed as if we were included in the system, yet we're not being required to connect because there is no access. But we're also not promised that we won't be required to connect in the future. All of this introduces significant financial risk for those of us who invested in septics and our neighbors next door who just drilled a brand new well. And then finally, running for town office. I can already run for county office if I intended to do so. So that doesn't really feel like an additive benefit to us. In fact, there's a legal term that we can use to describe these negative impacts, and that's called particularized harm. We're not lawyers, so we've been using another term amongst ourselves, and that's unfairness. To be clear, none of the landowners, none of the property owners sort of oppose the landowner who has the split property between the town and county. We don't oppose them getting that changed at all. We want them to be able to do whatever they need to do so they could sell their property and so the town can also look to the future. But there's a way of accomplishing this that's a win-win for our existing residents as well as that property owner. But to do that, we need to be brought to the table. So we're asking you either reject this plan, vote it down tonight, or direct your town manager to meet with the affected property owners so we can come up with a mutually agreeable solution. Thank you.
Thank you. Read this other one here. Diane Harrison? Yeah, right now.
Hi, my name's Diana Harrison, and I live in Painter, so I don't have a problem right now. I'm representing my mom who lives on 19557 Cashville Road. And again, stated she's not against a BLA, just not this one as written. September 5th, she received a letter from the mail saying, you're going to be part of this BLA, will incorporate her property into the town limits. This letter obviously raised several questions due to the shock value and lack of transparency. Question number 1, what are the benefits she would receive? We've heard those. Road maintenance she has, police protection she has, limbs pickup. Her granddaughter picks up her limbs and throws them in the woods, so she has that as well. So there's really no benefits. Question 2, what instigated this BLA? We've really not gotten a significant answer for that yet. In 8/25/25, the town manager said there was one property that was in 2 districts, the county and the town. That's all we heard. Number 3, why is 19557 Cashville Road specifically part of this BLA when it does not abut the field in question? It sits off Tower Road. Number 4, why weren't the other houses on Tower Road included in the BLA, particularly since the one at the very end does abut that field? Number 5, what's the rush? Why make the affected property owners pay a decade of taxes prior to any action happening with the property in question. Questions 3, 4, and 5 have gone unanswered. Through this decision, you have created a negative impact on a particular group of individuals in the following ways, placing a sudden increase on the financial burden of individuals who do not have a voice in the matter, creating a double tax situation for affected homeowners, which could be less appealing for potential buyers. The property owners could lose access to county services they now receive if they're part of the town, and the town services may not be up to par with the county services. What can the town do to make the affected property owners whole again? Trust has been lost due to the lack of transparency and a variety of unanswered questions. Number one, create a tax moratorium for those owners who would have bought in town if they wanted to live in town. Number two, adjust the BLA to only include the field or the one property. If these are not an option, then I would suggest hiring a mediator to help the town and the affected property owners reach a compromise. This is certainly less adversarial and less costly than going to court. Thank you. And I'd like these in the minutes, please.
Thank you. Jay Miller?
I'm Jay Miller, 79 Market Street. Everybody is, I had a whole list of things here, but everybody's already gone through them. Mainly making adjustments to the BLA, since you've already accommodated the one that's on the, I think that's the western side. But this lady just explained exactly what the problem is that you've already made an exclusion on that side of Tower Road. You might as well make exclusions elsewhere. You can just zigzag around the property owners that are affected, and that's that seems to me that would be a fair adjustment. Well, what I really want to do is give you a quote of what the county supervisors have in mind. This is in the public record. This is what the Accomack County supervisors have in mind, and they've put this in the public record. And I'm going to quote. They said, "The current zoning of the entire BLA is residential, and the future land use map, that's their land use map, designates it as village development area. The proposed BLA will enable the town to extend water and sewer service to the impacted area, which will allow higher density residential housing to be constructed according to the county's comprehensive plan. Clustering development around growth centers such as towns allows more efficient services." So there you have it. If you leave the property currently in the hands of the county supervisors, it shows that they can't wait to fill up any of the open area in that area with clustered townhomes, apartments, drain our wells, overload our waste treatment plant, just like they've already done on the properties behind the Food Line and Market Street, where Onancock had no say at all about the matter. So if you want to have a say on this matter, then once you determine what the BLA really is, it seems to me that you're better off having that area belong to Onancock, because we have our own planning commission, our own comprehensive land use plan that's going to be developed, and our town where reasonable people can decide what proper growth should be and not be bullied by supervisors who don't even live here.
No, thank you. Any other comments on this one? Okay.
My daughter has already spoken on my behalf. I'm Nancy Hoskinson, so I do have something to say. I cannot understand. I have looked at that property. I've walked that property, and the property on the back end of my road, right on the back end of my road, has two homes back there, the Elliots and the new family that has just bought the Scott home. They're not included, and the Scott home is right on the field. It's right in their living room. But my house is not even bordering the field. But I'm afraid what you all have got in mind is Tower Road. And I do not want all of that traffic going by my house at 88 years old. I have lived there 50 years. And when we built that home, we had no idea that we would be bothered with the head of an Hancock. We don't want it, or I don't want it. My husband's gone. I can't afford it. And I don't want any problems with borderlines. I know they were out there in March and they were surveying. And I don't know who you hired as a surveyor, but when he left, I hardly had any yard left. But I have my plot and it's marked. But if Tower Road is going to be anyway considered to be a road widened to go back there, that's what I'm worried about. And I know you wouldn't tell me if that were true. The county won't and you won't. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments on this one? Okay, please.
Don Ruth again. I live at Creekwood Lane. I'm actually in the town of Onancock, but I have part of my property is just about 400 square feet that's affected by this. So for me, I don't have a lot of skin in the game. But what I would like to point out is that this package was pretty shoddily prepared. It's dated September 2nd. And yet, if you read item 6 on approval, according to this package, the Board of Supervisors of the County of Accomack, Virginia, approved entering into this agreement to be at their regularly scheduled meeting on the September 17th, 2025. So we're told it's been approved by a meeting that never even happened, which leads me to think that maybe we're all being railroaded. So I just wanted to point that out, that this is a pretty shoddy looking proposal. Thank you.
Okay, who else we missed? Can't see. Yeah, you can't come twice, sorry. Yeah, okay. No, that doesn't work that way, sorry. We've never allowed that. I'm sorry, we've never allowed that. I can't set a new precedent here, thank you. You can make comments at the general public hearing, at the public comments later. All right, any other comments? Okay, go ahead. You come on up to the thing, please. We just can't pick up your sound. We have to get you on the mic.
So Joe Hill, 20 Ames Street in Hancock, Virginia. Forgot what I said. The initial question, once has been asked many times, is why? Why does the town need to annex this property? I understand there's a housing need, but do we know, is this servicing that need? Or what do we have for infill lots available that we might meet that housing need? Or do we need something this extreme? I live on the corner of Liberty and Ames. I've asked about the speed many times and essentially been ignored. If you put as many houses as you're talking about on Hill Street and Liberty Street, that corner of Liberty and Ames might as well be the Onancock Autobahn at that point. It's just, and I've asked for satisfaction many times. It just doesn't happen. I would be wary of this situation. As soon as this stuff starts to happen, the existing residents suffer. They take on every burden that this development, street-wise, police-wise, services-wise. So my question is why? I'd like to know the housing requirements we're looking for, what's available. Also, who is listed on the expansion agreement, what developer, who's on the name, so we know who we're dealing with, could possibly get a track record on their experience and see where to go from there. I've come from up north, southern Delaware, Berlin, Ocean City. It's never a pretty sight. These people aren't interested in an Hancock. They're interested in Hancock's money, period. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. All right, I'm going to close the public hearing. Okay, thank you. And we have a discussion. Want to do discussion now? Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and do the discussion while the people from here, the public hearing. So we're going to skip to council discussion. Okay. Council's where we want to go with this, council?
I'd like to get clarification on the current zoning for the land in question and what the options would be if the adjustment were to proceed.
Sure. The current zoning is dictated by the county and it's their village development. A village development zoning would allow for higher density housing. Onancock does not have a high density housing zoning, and therefore it would either be R1A or R1B in all likelihood. That would be the same zoning that's in Mount Prospect.
The county's current zoning, I thought was agricultural,
No, it's residential.
residential. I
Village
thought their village was their planned use for that, not
That's
the
yeah,
current zoning.
That's not the current zoning. Their current zoning is residential.
Right.
Their future land use map is
Okay,
is
and
village development.
the current lot size for the county is what, 5 acres?
I'd have to look, not in the village, no.
Not, if they change it to the village, that they'd have to change that.
They would, but
Yes.
if it's in their future land use map, I would imagine that
Yes,
they given
okay.
consideration.
Right. There is no developer looking at this correctly anymore.
That's correct. They
There
backed out.
is nobody there.
That's
Okay,
correct.
that's clear. Yes, okay.
Can I clarify one point? I thought if we made a boundary line adjustment, that the property would automatically be residential 1A
Yes.
unless some further action.
R1.
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 A or R1.
I'm not sure that it's R1A. It's definitely R1.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Until it goes to planning commission.
Correct.
Correct? In
Yes.
case if I'm wrong. Then at that point, we can, it would need council vote. The
Always,
reason-
yes.
Yes, the reason I asked to delay the vote was real simple. I cannot explain this to my neighbors. If I can't explain it to my neighbors, how can I vote on it? So there needs to be more transparency. I apologize to those of you who did not get the letter. That's unacceptable. We need to know what's going on. We met in closed session about this twice, which was how we should have done because it's legal, because it's a real estate issue. However, it never was on the agenda until the August meeting when one of the council members made an amendment to the agenda to put it on. So I can understand your concern, and that's why when I got the agenda and it had public comment and then it had vote, I said to myself, wait a minute, we got a lot to talk about here first. We can't do this fast.
I wasn't quite done. Before George jumped in. I wanted
Jump in
to
there.
clarify, and Matt, correct me if I'm wrong, but residential is generally the large lots that you see on Market Street that are very large and very deep are 1A, and some other, I think, large lots scattered around. 1B is the lot size of most of the lots in Mount Prospect.
Yes.
And 1C, I think it allows for a smaller lot size as
It's
well.
the
as
same lot
manufactured
size, but
and
it allows for manufactured homes.
Manufactured housing. So that's the sequence on the R1 A through C. Okay. I'm
I
done.
wasn't done either. But now that I've said all that, I am truly concerned that the county has control of what happens to this. As they made it clear, high density housing. I hate to say what all they could put in there. But we need dialogue. We need to talk about this. We need to figure this out. Because it is to our advantage that it is part of the town and we can understand your concerns. We've heard it. Thank you. I'm done now.
And listen to public opinion. I mean, the purpose of this meeting was to get public opinion. We have not gotten public opinion. That's the whole point of this. It seems like to me there are two issues. One is that you don't want to be in the town because you don't want to pay more property taxes. You don't think the services, and I can certainly understand that. The other issue is the issue of growth and whether that property needs to be developed. So there's kind of two issues here. If we removed your houses from if we can even do that, if we remove those from the area, we're talking about changing, then several people have said, well, then we'd be all right with that. It would just be the fields. So I'm not sure that, we'd have to talk about that as well. I know that's another issue. Do we want that kind of growth? There is some justification for protecting the town, over the county. So there are two issues. So how do we move forward? I think we need to, council needs to, look at this some more, possibly bring in the, if there's another alternative. We have another meeting. We're obviously not going to do anything tonight. To me, there's no rush. So we can hear with the people, we can hear, we need to think, we can meet with the property owners and see see what they would be happy with, and also what the town residents would be happy with. So we've heard, some anti-growth things, period. So that's a discussion. I don't know how do you want to proceed with that? Do we want to have, just discuss it at the next meeting? We obviously can't talk with property owners at a town meeting like this. We'd have to have a separate thing. So what's your pleasure? We're obviously not doing anything tonight.
I just want to say that I commend all of you who came out to voice your opinion about this as a team, as a group, and listening to it. And I've talked to a few of you throughout the day, when I'm delivering my mail, and I do agree with you that it's not fair that you guys are forced, so to speak, into making these changes. Just want to let y'all know that. That's all.
All right, do we want to direct the town manager to, how do we want to proceed?
I think there's a lot more information given tonight than I've heard.
Right.
I'd like to contemplate.
Okay, all right. We can talk, we can see if maybe we can come up with some, alternatives to see what we can do, and present it, at the next meeting, or, get it out to everybody before we present it at a meeting. Okay?
And I'm curious, as some of the speakers are, about the selection of the parcels that are included and the reasons for the exclusion of some that are not included. I think that would clarify a lot for me, and I think for others, and the tax moratorium / service moratorium idea seems like something worth exploring if putting the field in the town gives more control over growth than what it appears there currently is with it in the county. I would like for there to be the most control over the growth and have the growth be done in the most appropriate way that's the most benefit to the most people, and surrounding the town with masses of high density, which is where we're heading at this point, it seems, doesn't to me seem like the smartest way to go. So if doing the boundary line adjustment is a way to forestall that, if there are other safeguards put in place, I would like to see us work towards that as a solution that's agreeable to most, or ideally everybody, but we live in the real world, so maybe not, but more people than are pleased with what we're seeing so far.
Okay, so we need to think about this, and we need to get,
We need more information
Yeah, right.
about this.
well, you need to ask,
Just-
what kind of information do you need?
Well, okay, we need to know what happens if we do, what is the process after we vote, whether we vote against? What happens at that point? I mean, is it just open development? Anybody can move in there and start, if we don't have control?
Well, that's
of it,
up to the county.
then That's what
Right.
concerns me.
I agree.
Well,
Yes.
that question's answered. You know that already. I mean,
What happens if we don't? What happens if we do? What is the process? What is the legal process? What has our attorney said?
Our attorney is the person who crafted all these documents for
Right.
you.
well, I mean, people can develop well, first of all, none of the properties, the big property's not for sale, the Nelson property.
Today,
Yeah, I know, but he can he can develop that according to county guidelines. We already know what you can look that up in the county and see what the lot, it's.
Residential with
it's
village.
Residential village, right now it's known to that, so that the lots are much bigger than ours, so he can develop that without any input from ours.
Residential village, I thought was the higher density, not
It
the
is.
larger.
It's not the larger lots. Agriculture is the larger lots.
I thought it was zoned right now agricultural.
No, it's zoned residential.
Okay, we need to find that, okay.
You don't have to find it out.
Yeah,
It was
that's-
written in
that's-
the presentation that
So
Mike Mason gave.
the residential is there two types of residential
It's-
village or just residential?
It's residential and then it has subcategory and it's village designation.
Okay, so we probably right. We need to find out that information. Okay, all right. So we'll move forward. All right, okay. Any other questions about that?
I see Mr. Crockett in the back hiding behind John.
Hmm.
Is there? Yeah, is there any insight that you can share from the county's perspective? Anything that you would like to say? Am I in order to ask him that?
Yeah.
The only thing I can share is I'm doing due diligence. I'm gonna listen to the people in the town and listen to the people outside of town, and I'm just doing my due diligence. We'll wait to have our public hearing. We had a schedule for last Wednesday at our monthly meeting, but the board decided that the town should have theirs first because you are a petitioner. You made a request, so that's why we continue this. So I continue to do my due diligence. That's all I can share.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Crockett, are you saying whatever we recommend, then the Board of Supervisors will consider that and vote on what we recommend? I don't know the process.
That sounds like it'll be automatic.
No, I'm not saying that.
It'll be automatic.
No, you would just take our recommendation and then you will make your decision from that.
Once the town decides what to do, it will come to us, then we'll have another public hearing. I believe we'll have to have another public hearing, and we will decide after that.
Right.
There's no way will we follow your lead.
And we're not making a recommendation. We're just voting whether we want to do it or not. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And if you vote not to do it, it's dead.
Right.
It won't come to the board that you all have killed the plan.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you. All right. So we got a lot of work to do there. Okay. All right. The next item is the public hearing on the change of the budget amendment. I'm going to open that public hearing. It's here. The purpose of tonight's public hearing is to receive public comment on proposed amendment to the town's budget under Virginia Code 15.22507, amendment of budget. Any locality seeking to amend its budget so that the total expenditures exceed the current approved budget by more than 1% must first publish notice and hold a public hearing. In accordance with that requirement, notice of this hearing was advertised in the Eastern Shore Post on September 5th and September 12th, and we are here tonight to hear from the public. The matter before us involves the town-owned school building, which is currently leased to a nonprofit organization. Under the terms of the lease, the nonprofit is responsible, and I quote, caring for and maintaining the facilities. There is, however, a difference of opinion. Some believe that maintenance under the lease extends to capital improvements and major repairs. In contrast, others believe that as the building remains a town-owned asset, the town itself should invest in significant capital improvements to preserve and protect it. The estimated cost of the most pressing repairs, primarily the roof and the HVAC system, is approximately $800,000. This potential expenditure would increase the current budget by more than 1%, triggering the requirement for tonight's public hearing. No decision will be made this evening. The purpose of tonight's hearing is to receive public input so that the council can carefully weigh the options. When you come forward to speak, please state your name and address for the record and keep your comments focused on the subject at hand. We ask that remarks be limited to 3 minutes and to allow everyone's responsibility to be heard. All right. So Mark Sinclair, I think you probably left, haven't you? Yeah, okay. Rosemary Papero.
Funds available in quote unquote an idle reserve account. The reality is that each of the 750 households in town will have paid $1,100 in taxes towards that $800,000. Many of those households earn less than $40,000 annually. Low-income residents, therefore, are subsidizing low rents at the school. The town cannot hand the $800,000 to the school, as the FOS has proved itself incapable of handling capital projects other than construction of the pavilion. The town should either cancel the lease and take over the school or renegotiate the lease. The town must perform any capital repairs or improvements itself. A recent Main Street survey asked respondents what brought them into town. The school either did not place or was very low on that list, which underscores that the school is not the town's economic engine, which it purports to be. Meanwhile, the June 10th packet for the special council meeting included a schedule showing all town payments from ARPA funds for the police department and Welcome Center renovations. The printout for the Welcome Center showed a $10,415 disbursement to Sign Enterprises for signage at the Welcome Center. That disbursement was omitted from the schedule the town printed out for me a couple of weeks later, and the invoice for that was not included in my package. So the Welcome Center signage was $10,415. Now that's either for the existing, the new sign, or both, because I understand a new sign is coming. And the new Welcome to Anacog sign cost upwards of $70,000. Meanwhile, the historic Northeast neighborhood over there, weeds are growing in the play area through the rubber mulch. There's still only one semi-decrepit picnic table for the kids and caretakers. And although the new basketball court was asphalted a week or two ago, there are still no backboards, hoops, or lines in sight. I mean, that may take another couple of years to get done. Those kids are our kids, and that playground belongs to the town. The town owns all of those parks. We take better care of the dog park than we do for that neighborhood park, and that is a travesty. So when we're considering all of this money that's splashing around, and it's a lot of money, and I'm not saying don't do anything to the school, what I'm saying it's a lot of money, and pay attention to the whole town, because the future in the town are the kids. And those kids have been waiting years for their basketball court, and it's not happening. And that is, as I said, a travesty. Thank you. Oh, also, I keep hearing that there's a lot of trash over there. I go to that neighborhood at least once a week, and that playground is cleaned. Thank you.
Philip, you there? Yeah.
My name is Philip Siafa, 21 Market Street. In 2 days, we'll have our 6th anniversary of being Onancock residents. This is my first opportunity speaking to the council. I would like to voice my opposition to allocating money of this amount without commensurate comprehensive audit and submission of plans for the projected funds. I think that the public is owed some accountability for the expenditure of that kind of money for something that is not an emergent requirement. That's about all for now. Thank you.
Thank you. Priscilla Hart?
I'm Priscilla Hart. I live at 21 Market Street also. This weekend, I sent an email letter to the town council, and I hope all of you had a chance to read it. I am sure you get plenty of emails. So just in case you didn't, I am going to read this, and I also want the public to hear what I have to say. So when I said was good afternoon, the EDA is considering an $800,000 loan and or grant to Friends of Onancock School for repairs to the HOS building. Monies will be taken from our reserve fund. Is Onancock so flush with cash that we can allocate $800,000 to one project? No. I'm opposed to the use of $800,000 of our reserve fund for one project. We have aging infrastructure throughout the town, and if we deplete our reserves for one project, HOS, we will face a tax assessment when we have other emerging needs. Every taxpayer is going to bear the burden of a decision to grant or loan $800,000 to Friends of Onancock. It's just a matter of time. Friends of Onancock School, excuse me. The town council should be the driving force here in representing their constituents, the taxpayers, and in making sound financial decisions on all property belonging to the town. It's time for the town to take ownership and control of the historic Onancock School property and to terminate the existing Friends of Onancock School lease, renegotiate the lease, raise the rents, occupy a portion of the building, and include the HOS property as an integral part of our park system for enjoyment of all taxpayers and the community. The town owns the building and the land and the pavilion. FOS is the lessee with an age-old lease, $1 per year. Friends of Onancock School charges its tenants below market rates, another reason that FOS asks the landlord to pay for repairs for which they're responsible. We have addressed the repairs needed at HOS, and we keep going back and forth about who is responsible to pay for the repairs and what the repairs will cost. Yet we've only talked about HVAC and roof. Do we have expert opinion about the condition of the building? No. Do we know that after pouring money into these repairs, we won't find mold, structural issues, etc.? No, we don't know. I am not opposed to repairing the building, but we need a better plan for the future of the historic Onancock School. We need a new approach into looking at the HOS. It's a valuable real estate asset, with or without FOS. What's the long-term plan for the property? Is there a better use for the property? I respectfully ask the town council to set aside personalities, to follow advice of council, consider the likely burden on taxpayers, and to focus on the best way to capitalize on the HOS property going forward. There are many changes taking place in our town at present. There are storefront
Your
opportunities
time's running out.
available. I'm just about done. Our downtown district would benefit if the retail businesses and artists now at HOS relocated to Market, North, or King Streets. This is an opportunity to look at the big picture and to plan carefully for the future of HOS and for our town. Thank you.
Thank you.
Would you please, this?
Paul Wetzel? Yes. Rick King?
Hi, my name is Rick King. I'm on the board of directors at the historic Onancock School. I'd just like to read a couple things. Anyone can go online and look at the relationship between a leasee and a leaseor. A leaseor's, which is a town, typical responsibilities including maintaining a safe and habitable property, collecting rent per the lease, ensuring compliance with all relevant laws, regulations, and performing necessary major repairs. Under that, property maintenance, the leaseor is responsible for maintaining the leased property, including structural components, plumbing, electrical, heating, and cooling systems, unless the damage is done by the leasee. Safety and habitability. They must provide a safe and habitable living space, ensuring the property meets local housing standards. This is commercial, obviously, and is free from hazards. Rent collection, the leasee is responsible to collect the rent. Legal compliance, the leaseor must ensure that the lease agreement and the lease asset itself complies with all applicable laws and regulations. And you can continue reading. We don't own the property. It's owned by the town. We're a leasee. We've met every requirement within the lease as stated in the lease that anyone, I'm sure everyone's looked at it. So there's no question about the responsibility level of who the leaseor is, the leasee. If anyone in this room rented a property, and maybe everyone in here are land or homeowners, but if you leased a property, rented a property, who would pay for a major repair? You as a homeowner? No, it would be the it would be the homeowner, not the person renting the home. It's pretty simple. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other comments? Yes, okay. Casey? Oh, I'm sorry. I missed you, Mary. Yeah, thank you. You're next, Casey.
I'm Mary Burnham, 46 Kerr Street, and co-owner of Burnham Guys Paddle and Bike Shop at Onancock Wharf for 15 years. I'm in favor of the town allocating funds for capital improvements at historic Onancock School, specifically heating and roofing. I'm also in favor of the school paying rent within its means and income to help cover these costs. In recent years, the school has been portrayed as a liability by some, and I would like the town council to consider it as a valuable income-producing asset. As a resident and business owner, I see the positives in preserving this historic property, and here's why. The school and its grounds is one of the few waterfront recreation areas on the entire Eastern Shore the public can access for free. There's a nature trail, disc golf, soccer fields, playground, music pavilion, 14 acres in all maintained by FOS at very little cost to the town. We send people to HOS from our kayak shop on a daily basis, particularly families looking for something to do with their kids. There's really very little for kids to do here. People are looking for outdoor recreation. I spent my career as a travel writer and a kayak guide, and I can tell you there's a measurable return on investment to tourism. In addition, the physical and mental health benefits of having access to recreation for our residents has value that cannot be monetized. The school is an enviable asset for our town, for a town of our size, an art and cultural center, a new playground, a love sign that puts Onancock on state maps, more than 20 rent-paying tenants, and a state-of-the-art music pavilion that drew 400 people, almost 400 people to Friday's grand opening, featuring Onancock's exceptionally talented musicians. The school offers art, history, music, family activities, outdoor recreation. For those of us who make our living in tourism, this checks all the boxes. Friends of Onancock School has a 20-year track record maintaining and improving this town-owned property. Again, it's a town-owned property that FOS has been maintaining for 20 years. Now's the time for the town to invest in the future, specifically heating and a new roof, which are vital to the viability of this 100-year-old building. My question to town council is, if you do nothing, what will happen to this property? Will it be Central High School on Route 13, which is like falling down? That could be the history of Onancock School. So if you don't fund these important projects, what will happen to the school? It'll just like fall apart. So please allocate the funds to preserve this valuable asset for our future generations. And thank you for all you do.
Thank you. Oh, Casey? No comment? Okay. Any other comment? I'm sorry. I guess I thought it was you. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, you do look. I'm sorry. I didn't see you. You do. I'm sorry. I didn't see you there.
Earl Cash.
Yeah, of course.
12 Francis. I lived in town for, I guess, close to 20 years, and now I'm just outside. But I don't know how many people are here when the Friends from Onancock School first approached the town about getting the school. It was a hard-won fight. And the thing that pushed it over the edge was the citizens were assured it wasn't going to cost them a dime. I beg to differ with the gentleman that was talking about what a lease is and leaseor and the owner and all that kind of, those things. I don't believe the lease with the school, with the Friends of the Anacog School state that. That's just my 2 cents worth. And I think it's crazy.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said. Can you repeat?
That I wasn't sure where he was reading from when he was saying, a lease, if you have a house and sorry, I'm having sinus problems. If you have a house and you rent it out, that normally the owner of the home would be responsible for, a leak in the roof or whatever. But that wasn't my understanding of the agreement that was reached, 17, 18 years ago. And I don't think to change it now in the tune of $800,000 is correct. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? I got the public hearing for the budget, unless you signed another one. Okay, well, you can, yeah, okay, go ahead. Yeah, there were three sheets there.
My name is John Orth. I live at 85 Market Street. Last month or 2 months ago, I guess I asked a couple of questions in my statement, which I believe I left them open at that time, but I think for the most part, the answer is no to all of them. I don't get the feeling that there's any discussion of raising the rents on the tenants at the school to help defray the cost of this $800,000. Nor will the town update the lease to help recoup the investment. I have not heard any solid discussion about that, but maybe we're too early on that. I distinctly remember hearing that the new music pavilion was going to help create a revenue stream that was sure to at least help to fund the necessary repairs to the schoolhouse building. This does not seem to have materialized at this point, as far as I can tell. I also understand the town, as the owner of the property, has a certain obligation to maintain and repair the property's basic structure. I propose, or I think should be considered, that the town undertake the repairs to the roof under its own authority, even though I hear this figure of $800,000 for the HVAC system as well as the roof. If it has been delineated which is which, I apologize, I must have missed it, but let's just say it's $400,000 each. I propose that the town undertake the repairs to the roof under its own authority, since this is essential to the preservation of the building, but that the proposal for the upgrading of the HVAC systems be the responsibility of the tenant, the FOS. This group has shown significant ability to raise funds for a variety of projects, including a very nice music pavilion, and has some significant amount of money in the bank, something like on the order of $250,000, if I'm correct. And I propose that making the heat work in winter should be one of them, one of the priorities for the tenants. This would help preserve the water system, of course, in the wintertime, which would be extremely expensive to repair should the tenants neglect it. And in terms of a $400,000 air conditioning project, I think that the artists, if they, I know it gets cold in the winter. People think it's cold down here in the winter. And in terms of $400,000 air conditioning project, I think the artists should work at home if they need air conditioning. Lots of people do it. We've been doing it forever. And I will spare you all number 24 from the lease, because it's reiterating the partnership and the responsibilities of the town and the FOS, solely lesser of that of lessor and lessee. Obviously, the town owns the building. There's certain obligations involved in that. I feel that the town has been a generous and benevolent landlord for quite some time,
Can you
something like
finish up,
17
please?
years. I feel it is time for some changes to be made. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, who else do we miss? Dana?
Dana Simpson, 25 Market Street. I frequently feel like I'm at a very expensive restaurant and someone else is ordering for me, and I don't want to eat that food, and I really don't want to pay for it. It's very important that the whole town of Onancock is aware of the decisions that have been made that affect each and every one of us. I'm really glad to see all you guys here. If you do get annexed at some point, please do come, because the more people that speak up, the more ideas, that's very important to the future of everybody here in Onancock, and all of the neighborhoods need to be represented. Our taxes have risen each year. We've been here 2 years, and each year the taxes have gone up. So I'm kind of confused by this 1% increase in the budget, because supposedly the $800,000 is in a reserve. Now I worry about that because it's kind of good to have money in reserve. My parents told me that. There's only about 750 households here in Onancock, and there's a lot of money being spent, seemingly without a master plan in place to lay out an overall collective vision for our future. Now, some great people in town are working on that, but it's not done yet. So I'd like to kind of slow down because, for instance, the Welcome Center cost far more than projected. However, there's no plan for how to people it to greet visitors. So it's open, but it's empty. The large welcome sign cost $25,000 more than it was proposed at over $70,000, while the sign at the wharf and the landscape around it was addressed and redone by frustrated residents who were kind of embarrassed by all of the boats that were pulling in there and looking at the chipped sign. The magnificent oak tree is surrounded by a pricey metal fence, while the northeast playground has a broken down chain link fence. And finally, it did get paved, the basketball court, but it still has no benches or decent picnic tables, to the point where some people are feeling like they should buy it and take it up there themselves. So why is all this money being spent on some things and not on others? Things. It just seems like some parts of the town are treated to top priority. The school wants $800,000 to begin repairs on that structure, but there's no plan or sequential engineering diagram, no master plan on how the school can sustain itself afterward or truly benefit the town as a community center open to all. Right now, as a taxpayer, if you want to go and use a room in the school, you get to pay $250 for that privilege, while each of us subsidizes the school. The monthly rents, which benefit a narrow group of people, are $250 a month or less, and some have been in there over a decade with no raise in rent. So there's nothing to support the substantial repairs the school needs. We all want good things for Onancock to maintain our friendly small town atmosphere and our sense of community. But can we please take a step back and make a plan that brings the town together instead of piecemeal actions? There's many big ticket worries. There's broken pipes in an antiquated water system, roads without safe sidewalks, many other important buildings that also need repairs.
Okay, you need to finish up now. Thank you.
The idea of fixing the school for a true community center, fancy signs, all that stuff, that it's lovely. Like, who wouldn't support that? But what can we honestly afford that brings a clear return back to all of the taxpayers of Onancock?
Thank you. Any other comments? Okay. Can I get one back there? Oh, I'm sorry. Come up.
Good evening. My name is Bobby Lohr. I live at 4 Crescent Street. I find it interesting that you want to use the reserves for the school, and let me tell you why. This winter, my property sits in front of the creek. I watched the town try to fix the water pipes. Shame on you, first of all. Your people didn't have on life vests. They were in a small boat that actually almost went over with 2 gentlemen in it. Your paper said that you couldn't find where the water pipes were because they were too old. So why don't you spend your money on looking at the water pipes? Why don't you look at the streets? In Mount Prospect, where we live, the manholes are sinking. The roads go like this. People come over, they park, and they walk in our neighborhood. They fall. It's a mess. So you might want to consider using your money, as the lady said, the reserves, for something that would be useful to more people versus, if you don't have water for a couple of days, that's a problem. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Any other comments? Okay. I'm sorry, I can't, come on up. Didn't get it in.
What's going on in the town, because we never get notices. But for as building these condominiums or whatever y'all building condos, somebody told me the other day while I was walking down the street, they said, you need to come to the meeting because they're trying to build more apartments and stuff. And evidently they told me it was gonna be around on Bunnick.
Excuse me, do you,
They're saying on Bunnick Street. My name is Doris Matthews and I live on,
yeah, are you making a comment specifically about the budget amendment for the school?
well, no,
Then-
but
then
I'm,
that-
but I'm
there's a-
just saying about everything, like for is doing for our part of the town, we don't get any benefits from the money y'all have, like paying taxes. We don't even get Christmas decoration. My brother-in-law had to come down and complain. Then they carried the Christmas decorations all the way down, but they were stopped by Corner Mart, just like the holidays. On the 4th of July, Memorial Day, they put the flags up. They stopped Forest Corner Mart. They don't even carry them all the way down our area. We don't get any benefits from the money. That's all I got to say.
Okay,
But
thank
we
you.
pay a lot of taxes too.
Any other comments? Okay, I'm going to close this public hearing. Thank you. Okay. All right, council action, public presentation, Mr. Samuel Outlaw, Blacksmith Shop.
Thank you for this opportunity. My name is Gerald Boyd, and I am the curator of the Samuel D. Outlaw Blacksmith Shop Memorial Museum. 11 years ago, I met then Mayor Jones at the Red Queen as we were talking about the blacksmith shop. And it is at that time that I offered him my limited services as one who was concerned for the upkeep, the reclamation and preservation of that blacksmith shop. I can tell you that since that time, we've achieved being included on the National Historic Register, the Virginia Register of Historic Places. We are partners with the National Park Service, and we're recognized by the National Civil Rights Network, among other designations. The Outlaw Blacksmith Shop is more than a display. It is one of the Commonwealth's rarest intact blacksmith shops from the early 20th century. It still contains the real tools used by Samuel D. Outlaw, the original forge, the building structure itself with exposed framing. These materials carry texture, age, and patina. In terms of the cultural and community significance, the shop serviced Black and white farmers, watermen, and neighbors over many decades, from 1927 to 1991. It is not just a craft story. It is one of resilience, community service, race, craftsmanship, and local legacy. Samuel D. Outlaw was also deeply involved in his church, Bethel AME, where he served as church clerk for 48 years and Sunday school superintendent for 53 years. He also founded a Savings and Loans Association. His life connects craft to social history. The building's structure, unfinished walls, wood framing, the forge and chimney, tools lying where they were, offers strong visual and tactile contrast. Metal tools, aged wood, brick-fired forge, smoke-blackened surfaces. You get the picture. The blacksmith shop is metaphorically rich. Forging, shaping, heating, cooling, all can be seen as metaphors for transformation. It is a Black-owned industrial plant surviving through segregation, social change, and industrialization, and is in itself a strong narrative arc. The project, the reclamation of our heritage, preserving the Samuel D. Outlaw Blacksmith Shop, focuses on urgently needed repairs that will stabilize and enhance the building while maintaining its historic authenticity. What we're talking about is exterior painting and repairs, repairs of windows, doors, and floors, grounds preparation. We're asking for $10,000. The investment in repairs will produce benefits that extend well beyond the building itself. Historic preservation, it safeguards one of Virginia's rarest African-American heritage sites using authentic, period-appropriate methods. Community engagement, it supports the relaunch of the commemorative paver campaign, giving residents and businesses the chance to honor loved ones and leave a permanent mark. A grand reopening creates a celebratory moment for Onancock, with opportunities to invite dignitaries, local leaders, and families to honor the site's preservation. And it contributes to education and tourism. It ensures that students, educators, and cultural tourists have a continued access to an authentic site of Black craftsmanship and history. In conclusion, the Samuel D. Outlaw Blacksmith Shop Memorial Museum is more than a historic structure. It is a living story of craftsmanship, resilience, and community. By partnering with the town of Onancock to complete these critical repairs, we will preserve the site's historic fabric, strengthen its role as a cultural landmark, and prepare it for a vibrant future. I have gifts for you. This may be a bit clumsy, but here we go. These gifts are from the most recent Shoebox Lunch Festival. And I'll offer you a program, a brochure, and a shoebox lunch, including a fan. Now, the shoebox lunch is a result of African-American ingenuity. Back in the days of Jim Crow, when Black folk did not have access to hospitality spaces, thank you. Women would create foods that did not spoil easily, place them, oh, and I have one more gift. This is an African fan. Okay. That they would place foods that did not spoil easily in boxes that we use to travel with, and when we found space safe space we could stop and eat our lunches. Those lunches comprise of fried chicken, collard greens, mac and cheese, pound cake, and a piece of fruit. Those boxes are emblazoned with national Black history icons. And so you not only get to eat history, you get to carry it in a shoebox. Look forward to next year, August 22nd, 1926. Be
Okay.
there or be square.
Oh, thank you. Do we, do we have any questions or a motion for this?
I would like to move that we appropriate the money for the Samuel Outlaw project.
Do a second.
I have a question.
Discussion, hold on. Yeah, go ahead. Discussion. Where's the money gonna, do we have,
I moved, Sarah second.
we got a second.
No, Debbie.
There's a motion in your packet.
Oh, I didn't look at the,
Page 22.
no. Doesn't have to
we
be
at
that.
discussion again? My
If you
question.
want to put it in. a
Mine
motion.
is
Yeah,
for
go ahead.
Boyd.
Can you restate that motion again? Because it says where money's coming from.
Get the motion so we can do
Yeah, yeah.
discussion. All right, I move that town council appropriate $10,000 from the town's unassigned reserve funds to the building and streets budget, line item 10-6400-8210 blacksmith shop for the purpose of meeting unbudgeted expenses.
Can we have another second?
Second.
Thank you. Discussion?
$10,000 at this point seems like a drop in the bucket compared to what we're being asked to fund other town-owned property, which you are. Is that enough?
It is enough to bring the building up to code, to preserve it for
Don't you have a capital improvement project that's the other, beside that, I was talking to you at the, I heard a lot more other stuff coming.
Yes.
You're trying to raise money as well as ask, yeah.
There is a possibility that there is a larger grant that may be funded.
Okay. All right. So this is just to get up to code. Everybody, this is a town-owned property. I'm sure everybody knows that by now, but
Could we encourage you to let us know if additional funds are needed?
Absolutely.
who is going to be in charge of this? Matt, is that, you're going to take care of this? Well, I mean, you're not going to, we need a project coordinator.
Is the nonprofit gonna?
Is it not, are you going to
Are we
take care of
giving the
it?
money to the nonprofit or are we paying for it? Okay.
Okay. So you and Gerald can together and figure out who's going to, is that good? Okay with you? Okay. Okay. Any other discussion? Since we're appropriating money, let's have a roll call on this.
Councilmember Figgy,
Aye.
Councilmember Grubb,
Here.
aye or nay? Councilmember Holdren,
Aye.
Councilmember Marino,
Aye.
Councilmember Knock,
Aye.
and Councilmember Pettit.
Okay, thank you.
Motion
All right,
carries.
good. So get together with Matt and we'll proceed. All right. Okay, council action, funding for body camera replacement, Matt?
Directly over to Chief. He's the person that let us know that the body cameras that we have are beginning to fail. And he's the one that got the quote from Motorola for the system that he wants that'll find best for our community. I had sent you a note that said that while these aren't legally required, I encourage you strongly to find the funds to do this. And I've got a motion that's will do that for us.
Okay, Chief? Yeah,
I have a question.
let's let him make a
Okay.
presentation first, please.
All right, good evening. Our current cameras are over 5 years old, and when we purchased them, they were the lowest price ones going at that time. And since then, we've had several cases, unfortunately, that's popped up that we don't have camera footage of because the cameras fail and there's no warning. You look down and it shows it's functioning and there's no recording when you go to download it. They are not required. I don't know of any single agency around that doesn't have them currently though. It's become part of the uniform, just like the badge and everything else. The system we are currently looking at is the current system we have. It's just an upgrade. They don't offer simple cameras no more. It's a package deal for 5 years. It covers maintenance, recordings. It covers everything with it. And the one main reason I chose these cameras over anything else is these record all the time. So when an officer's talking to you, it's recording, but it erases it in 24 hours, unless the officer hits a button. So when they go on an actual call, they hit the buttons, turns them on, and it saves it. Rest of the day, it's recording, but within 24 hours, it gets dumped, erased. So unless they hit that button or somebody's called a complaint, it gets dumped, erased. But we've used it several times going back to something that the officer forgot to turn it on or accusations made. We've gone back and been able to look at the footage. That's why we recommend this system. It's cloud-based. Currently, our current system is not cloud-based. It's saved on a hard drive next door. With the cloud-based, they guarantee that we won't lose it or erase it because we have lost some in the past due to computer issues. So this is why this system has been recommended over the rest.
Zell, you got
Down.
questions?
Yeah, I have two questions. First, I noticed you're only looking to purchase 4. Yeah.
Because the chiefs don't usually wear one.
Why is that?
Because we're usually in the office or we're having discussions about personnel policy that's not usually public. And every body camera is subpoenable. It's FOIable.
So if you go on a call or it's incident, we have there's nothing recording you? Okay.
If you, I can get one if you want one. That's going.
Well, I'm just curious. I don't know anything one way or another. Do other chiefs not wear cameras?
I think there's one. That's all I know of.
Yeah, okay.
And then my other question was, I'm assuming we don't have a current subscription plan because we're not in the cloud. Is that what that's for?
Correct.
Okay.
Any other questions for the
And
chief?
that was another thing. This company was significantly cheaper because each person has to have a user ID and able to get in the system. They're significantly cheaper than the other system. So we did find that out.
So this one records all the time, and then how long do you keep the recordings for?
If they hit the button, if they actually hit the button to record, it's saved until we erase it. The non-time, like patrolling or talking in the store or whatever, that gets erased in 24 hours. If it's non-eventful, they call it non-eventful.
So if they forget to push the button,
They call me up, I come down, and I can download it.
yeah, okay, you can get it before. So if you have an incident, you can get it.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions for the chief here? Oh, go ahead, Sarah.
Yeah.
Just to clarify, the amount that you're asking for, is that the funding of the full 5-year contract? And so we would need presumably in 5 years to budget for whatever the current cost is at the time?
Correct. And that's with, also, that's what everybody's going to, unfortunately. Our tasers is an example. Our tasers are currently a 5-year contract. In 5 years, we got to come up with a whole new funding for them. Because that's how.
And then the other question was on the procurement policy and how this fits within that.
I asked Chief if he could get 3 quotes with the same functions for every camera and the functionality for the cloud and whatnot. And there aren't 3 that have the exact same functionality that Chief finds best. So this is a sole source provider because of that.
So just to clear for the public, the 22,888 is for 5 years?
Correct.
So we don't pay a nickel for 5 years after we pay the 22,888,
And
correct?
they take them back after 5 years.
Okay, and then we have to re-up it again, and you're gonna get brand new cameras and everything, correct? Yeah, okay.
Yes.
All right, any other questions from council? Okay, I think there's a motion in the package here.
I move that the town council appropriate 23,000 from the town's unassigned reserve funds to the police department budget. Line item 10-5524-6016, police supplies, for the purpose of meeting unbudgeted expenses.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call again.
Councilmember Figgy,
Aye.
Councilmember Grubb,
Aye.
Councilmember Holdren,
Aye.
Councilmember Marino,
Aye.
Councilmember Knock, Councilmember Pettit.
Okay, thank you very much. The second item on council action is discuss OBCA's offer to renovate the Anancock Wharf sign. As Matt, is that you or do we have somebody?
Bill Burnham's
Bill-
here to
Bill-
go through that with you.
Yeah, Bill Burnham, 46 Kerr Street, President of the Onancock Business and Civic Association. We are here to ask council permission to replace the lattice work that surrounds the town wharf sign with a more decorative appearing material, specifically AZEC planks 1x5. And OBCA would fund the material and any work-related costs for that.
Did everybody get the little drawing in the packet? And the same, the sign is the same. You're just redoing the
Right.
and it's protecting the electrical panel, correct?
Yeah, there's a big.
Huge panel back there.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, so a lot of what's been happening this summer is that OBCA volunteers, primarily motivated by Diane Pernick, have undergone a program of weeding, mulching. We got a donation of $600 worth of shells to lay down there, and we're just keeping an eye on it. And then this would be the culmination of all that work.
Okay, anybody have any comments?
Thank you for thanking Diane. I felt so bad after last month's
Yeah.
meeting that we didn't do that.
Uh-huh.
I know she sort of spearheaded that and got that ball rolling, and it looks beautiful. Thank you to all the volunteers down there. Nice job.
Yeah, and
Can we get that electrical box painted like with the Bike Onancock poster? Wouldn't that look great? I don't think they'll let us do it, but I'd like it.
What
I didn't understand.
What
that.
electrical box?
That big box that sets in front.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh.
I don't think we can touch that person.
Well, can you plan around it better or something? You know,
We can,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
There's some details that I can provide as far as how we're laying this out. We talked to a couple contractors, and it was recommended that around the base of this panel, the boards would be spaced at about a 1/2 inch diameter, and then right about waist level, it would go to 1 inch separation between the boards. That will allow the flow of air through, which I think is critical to that.
Any other questions?
I have a
Lisa?
question.
I think Lisa was,
I just had a comment.
Okay.
While I'm really gracious that OVCA is trying to take all these projects on, I believe in the Hill Studio stuff, there was talk about replacing that sign. So I'd hate for you all to spend a bunch of time and money if we're just going to turn around in 5 years and replace it with a sign that's in line with the rest of the signs we've been doing.
Right. This is our offer to the town,
Okay.
and we've discussed it at OBCA, and we're very comfortable with knowing that there's a long-term plan for that sign, but just to kind of clean it up. And we went before the Waterfront Committee a couple weeks ago, and they endorsed it as well. I think I can speak on their behalf.
I've got a question. Matt, if you could speak to this one. I looked at the sign ordinance and Fletcher's measured it. He assures me that this is the dimensions of the current sign. But our ordinance says that section 38-412, no sign at any location where it may interfere with obstruct view of traffic. And it also talks about, and I understand the electrical panel behind it, but it talks about being 2.5 feet up and no taller than 8 feet.
Yeah, that's generally speaking for the business districts.
Okay.
So that it doesn't technically, and I understood your point earlier, it doesn't technically block the line of sight for any traffic. It also can't be confused with any warning sign or any traffic related sign. So I don't think it's in violation of our ordinance. As far as the 8-foot tall, I do believe that's for business
well,
districts.
but the sign itself, there's two things here. One is the wrap around for the, you know, and then the actual sign is
The
much
actual
smaller.
sign is not a problem.
Yeah, yeah, and it's also below 8 feet, so I don't think we're violating there, you know, there's two things here. There's the, you know.
Depends how
struct-
you define sign.
Yeah, I
Is
don't
it
think-
just
yeah.
the sign itself or is it
But
the
you-
backdrop of it as well?
Yeah, but that's up there, that's been there to
Yeah,
hide the
they call it
box.
a permanent structure. just
Permanent
because of
structure, you're just
the-
putting a sign on a permanent structure, right?
Correct.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Any other comments about this? I mean, we don't really have to, oh, I'm sorry. Diane. If you can, yeah,
Sure,
if
yeah.
good. We'd like to record everybody if we can.
Hi, I'm Diane Pernick, 3 Market Street. I guess I'll just say that. So I was privileged to get the Hill Studio report about the signs. And, you know, I don't know exactly when the rest of the signs are going to go up, but thank you, Cindy, for your email to me. I really appreciate it. So I looked into it. And the sign that was proposed is the sign that's on the wharf building. Okay, and this sign that Dana actually redid on her own is just a sign that was like the ship was sinking and, you know, everything was falling apart on it. And so she redid that. But, you know, I don't know how long that electrical panel has been up there, you know, and we just want to make it look better. That's really it. The only thing, though, I don't know, and Bill could probably correct me on this, is we were planning on doing the front in horizontal planks. So, you know, it kind of looks like a rustic, like a wharf. And it was the front and the sides, and then rehang the sign that Dana has refurbished. But we have to look into is the back, because the back requires, what do you call those things? Hinges? The hinges, there's like 4 hinges on it, and it requires a little more work. So that's going to cost us a little more money. And so I'm just going to go out on a limb here and saying it kind of would be nice if the town would pay for the back of it so we could get that done, you know. And I don't know where the lock came in that was undone. I don't know if that's part of annex lock. It's a locked panel. You know, the panels are locked. So, you know, that's one thing. And also I would like to just say that it would be nice future wise if the Onancock Wharf and the upkeep of it could be put in future budgets. So it wouldn't just be based on volunteers in the OBCA, you know, just because it is a town property, but, you know, I'll help as much as I can, just like we got the project started was a whole lot of people, which was really great. So I say, let's just get it done, you know, just say yes, you know, because it will look better. And plus it kind of fits into your project with Sail 250, you know, because the ship is coming in. We're going to have more tourism next summer than we've had in a long time because of that, because of these celebrations that are going on. And I think the wharf is a jewel to the city. It's a water gateway to us, you know, and I'd like to see, you know, and I feel like we have town support. But I just kind of wanted to lay that out as far as the signs. I don't know, when are the rest of the Hill Studio signs coming in?
6 feet.
That's our signs there.
That's a Matt question.
Yeah, the street signs are obviously going in now. The wayfinding signs, we're working with VDOT, and there's a small committee that is working on verbiage and placement. The destination signs, we haven't started that project yet, and that's what this would be, is one of the destination signs.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, that's it.
Thank you.
Okay, any questions about this? I mean, we're not, they're not asking for, there is a question about the back of it. So you're not doing the back, correct? I mean, it seems like to me that we need to do something about the back. Yeah.
So it was recommended by the waterfront committee that if we're going to tackle this project, we tackle the whole thing. And although it, you know, any town assistance would be great, OBCA again is willing to to handle the cost of that. So right now, the three sides, the front facing Market Street and then the two sides comes in between 1,800 and 2,200 based on quotes from OBS and materials and color and that sort of thing. So we are probably looking at another grand for the backside. But I agree, it's got to get done. And so if you're going to do it all the way around.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's silly just to do three sides of the thing. You
Yeah,
have to make some
we just
doors.
came-
It's going to be a little more complicated, but we have
Yeah.
to match the material you have.
Yeah.
So you guys are offering to give us another 1,000 to do the doors, or you want us to pay for that?
You know, we came here as an offer for OBCA to take care of this, and I think I want to stick with that. To be honest with you, we will take care of it.
The whole thing?
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so you'll work with Matt and come up with a design for the, okay, any problems with this? We just need I don't think, do we need a motion to just like? Yeah. Yeah, does anybody have any problems with this?
No.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
No problem.
Okay,
Happy
great.
to help.
Thank you. Okay. I think we've already talked about the motion for the boundary line adjustment. Council discussion, do we want to have a plan going forward about the school thing? We had a public hearing about that. I don't know if we did. Next steps on that is discuss procedure more than anything else.
Yeah, I think we need to keep things rolling. And being aware that if I feel like a broken record, when the bottom of the boiler finishes rusting through on the 103-year-old furnace that has been heating the school since it was built, then the building will be unusable in winter. And if the building becomes unusable, then it will fall out of use. And as was said in one of the comments, the risk is that we'll have another central high school in the middle of our town. The history of that building, just as a refresher, in the 1920s, the county needed another school and didn't have the money to build it. The town of Anancock funded the construction of that building and turned it over to the county for its use for as long as it would. And when the county stopped using it, it reverted to the town. And that's when the Friends of Anancock Schools stepped in to try to begin to shore it up, preserve it, and keep it going. I sincerely hope that we can find a way to keep that facility strong, keep it available indoors and out as a community center for everybody, not just in town. The suggestion of modifying the lease so that the school pays back what it can towards the cost of the HVAC and roof work, with a coordination between the town and its attorney and the school and its attorney to come to a mutually agreeable plan is what I would hope we would move toward.
All right, well, I guess I'm just trying to figure out going forward. So at the next meeting, as the member, you're going to present a motion to fund. I thought we'd given up on the EDA route. Is that correct? Okay, so that's not, so you're going to, and you'd also include the lease. I guess can we start looking at that now already to get the attorney? Okay, so there would be a motion to redo the lease, possibly give them the money. I think that the town should administer the project, or not giving them the money, but the town should be doing it. Get a project, director, you, or we can hire somebody if we need to, do it. That's just going forward. We don't need a big discussion on that now, but would come at the next meeting. Is that okay with everybody?
Yes.
I mean, she can, it's a motion. I'm just saying, I'm just trying to, she's going to come up with a motion at the next meeting to proceed with this, their craft a motion. We will vote it up or down at that time. I'm just trying to get going forward, give you an idea instead of just forgetting this thing for another 6 months. Just telling you, try what, so hopefully next meeting, Sarah is going to come up with a motion, and we'll discuss it. We'll have discussion and vote on it at that
I'd be
time.
happy to help you, Sarah.
Yeah, okay. All right.
I do have a question about the lease. Who's writing that lease?
It's already written. We're just having the attorney review it because there's a few, whoever the attorney was 17 years ago.
Oh, you're going with the original lease.
And then we'll revamp it
We'll
with
get a chance
current
to see that.
language.
Decided that we want to do that?
You're going to have to revise the lease for sewer and sewer system billing anyway. So this is a natural time, and we don't have to put a dollar amount in for rent. You can just put it as an X for now, and then council can decide how they want to handle future rents.
But you'll get a chance to see the lease.
Yeah.
Yeah, that adjusted.
I don't know that we voted to do that, but you're saying we have to.
Yeah, you're going to need to revise the lease anyway.
But you're right, Joy, there has not been a vote to do so. There has been discussion.
Well, that would be at the
of
next
that
meeting.
as an
yeah.
idea.
Right, yeah. But, yeah. All right. But it has to be done because the HRSD, that we've always known that, yeah, it has to be, the lease has to be modified. All right, any other discussion? Just going for, all right, okay, we're on to committee reports, Planning Commission.
Yes, the Planning Commission did meet this month, September, this is really small, 8th. We had several presentations as we've had the last few meetings. We had one presentation from the group opposed to spraying for mosquitoes, presenting their point of view. Greg Temple also made a presentation to us on water conservation. And then we also had a public hearing regarding the proposal to develop the property referred to as the Eller property. It's behind Fletcher's old office, that large field, I think comprises something like 27, 29 acres back there. And the Planning Commission did have a public hearing on that proposal. I believe the Planning Commission will vote about that rezoning at their next meeting in early October.
Can I add a little to that?
Sure.
So, I also said at the time that if you have been unable to attend a meeting and you want to comment on the potential rezoning, that you can contact me on my town email, get it from the town website, and I will collate all that stuff with people's names and addresses, but not your email address, so that you can still have input on this up to October, the meeting in October. So that material will be distributed to the Planning Commission. Also, I want to remind everybody that when we debate this and take a vote, that our vote is a recommendation to town council. We don't actually make the final decision. So it will then come back to town council at that point. And I believe actually you guys were required to have another public hearing. Am I correct on that?
Yes.
Yeah, so, if you want to get your comments into me, though, that document with all the collated emails whatever our decision is, will also go to town council. So they'll get all the materials in our package of materials, including the staff report and the results of our deliberations. So, but then there will be one more public hearing after that.
Yes, okay. All right, anything about planning? Okay, EDA?
The EDA was supposed to meet last week, but we rescheduled to this Wednesday at 6 o'clock right here in the council chambers. If you're interested in joining us, And then Personnel Committee did actually meet this month. I had sent out a job description rewrite that the Personnel Committee came up together with to Town Council, but I dropped it right before I dropped the evaluation. So I'm going to resend that out to you all so that we can get this hopefully adopted in the October meeting. Matt is also going to start working on all of the town job descriptions, and he said that he would have that completed and ready for council to see in the January meeting. We also sat down and discussed using metrics for future town manager evaluations. Matt had asked that he be part of the conversation, so we reviewed his initial suggested metrics and kind of went through those line by line, and we shrunk some down, and there's probably more to be added, but we are starting the process. And then we asked that Matt share with town council the names of new hires as well as officially introduce them to council. And that was that meeting.
Question?
Sure.
If you didn't meet, how do we know that the EDA is not, how did the EDA decide they're not involved in the school funding?
Because council has to decide whether they wanted to appropriate the funds to the EDA first.
Have we done that?
No.
That would be part of the motion again on
Okay.
next
Yeah.
week. Yeah. Where the money's coming from, but yeah.
But
I think the consensus was that we weren't going to use the EDA, but that would come up to a vote.
There was a joint meeting of the
Yeah.
town council and the EDA that was outside the normal schedule.
Yeah.
And during that is when the idea of using the EDA sort of fell by the wayside, at least in my hearing of it.
Okay. Planning-
Sorry, I did two back to back just because it wasn't on the agenda.
Okay, well, you're up again on Hancock Main Street.
On Hancock Main Street, we actually held a Retail Matters from Data to Design workshop for not only town businesses, but we invited Cape Charles Main Street and their board. We invited Chincoteague's Chamber. We invited the supervisors from the county level. We went and asked businesses just outside of town at Four Corners and Chesapeake Square. I reached out to the town of Olney, and we invited as many people as we could to come and listen to our guest speaker, Jenny Crittenden, who's the CEO of Retail Alliance. And she spoke about the latest insights from Retail Matters reports, including key retail and consumer trends impacting downtown districts. It was such a success. We had it scheduled for an hour. It went almost 2. Those that were in attendance were really engaged and asked a lot of thoughtful questions. We had business owners and property owners. We'd like to give a special thanks to North Street Playhouse and their board for partnering with us so that they donated the space for us to host this event in. This programming was part of Hancock Main Street's Open for Business initiative, which is a business recruitment and retention program to fill vacant spaces in downtown Hancock and keep our existing business community engaged. We will be working on hosting more sessions such as these in the future. We received the Downtown Investment Grant from the state of Virginia, and we are taking $35,000 of those grant funds that we're receiving, and we're going to be doing a public-facing improvement grants for our downtown district. That grant is now open. You can find the information on our website, which is hancockmainstreet.org, or Ask Me. We're giving out $500 to $5,000 in grants for these projects, and the grants will close on November 3rd. Murals. The entrance to Hancock features 2 new wall murals commissioned and installed by the Hancock Main Street organization. One is the Hancock's Greetings, which is on the wall of Woody's Auto Care at 61 Market Street. Was created in a vintage style postcard to capture the small town warmth of Hancock in large style format. A vibrant tapestry portrays a multifaceted efforts of generations who shaped Hancock. It was installed in the wall of Market Street Grill at 151 Market Street. Market Street is a primary corridor for Hancock, and we want residents and visitors to immediately experience the friendliness and vibrancy of our town. Images for for OMS's 5 murals throughout Onancock were selected to showcase Onancock's many rich assets, including its people, nature, history, and the arts. Each mural is a unique work of art with its own story. Together, they create visual pride as people enter and drive throughout the entire town. We are also working on a mosaic that's going to be going on to the restroom building at 38 Market Street where the Welcome Center is, and we're hoping to have it installed this week. Thank you.
Questions from council about Main Street? Okay. All righty, Historic Onancock School.
The movie night Under the Stars, held in cooperation with RCEC, was a success. It included an actual shooting star during the movie. There were about 80 people who came. The pavilion has had its grand opening. That happened on Friday evening with Johnny Moe and Phil Rhythm donating their musical services, and roughly 400 people in attendance. I was sorry to miss it because I was not well, but I have heard good reports, and I'm glad that that's now open and underway. Upcoming things: Wine Wednesday, October 1st. There's an Eastern Shore Car Cruisers car show in the parking lot on Saturday, October 11th, and a craft show on November 1st with local artists indoors, and then a food truck from Soul Food Seafood and a sculpture patina demonstration outdoors. And November 15th, which is a Saturday this year, is the date of the Champagne and Oyster fundraiser. So that's, and then the Friday and Saturday of Thanksgiving week, which is like 2 weeks later, the school will be one of the sites on the Artisans Guild tour. And we're continuing to work on issues of how to deal with the building and create a new long-range plan, because that's time for that. So those are the things going on with the school.
Any questions?
Yes, I have a question. Can you all hear me?
No, doesn't sound like we can real well.
Yeah, I've been hearing that you can't hear me, so I'll speak up. You are going to bring a motion in the next council meeting in October about funding the school. You will have a board meeting. Oh, there it is. You will have a board meeting with, thank you. It's been off for several meetings. You will have a board meeting before that October meeting.
There's a board meeting this Thursday.
As council representative to the school, I would like to see, since it's a town-owned property, the budget from the school before we vote on the $800,000.
Which budget are you referring to? Their operating budget or the plan for the project?
Both.
I thought we'd already got.
We did get the project plan when they
We got
presented
the
to us.
project
Yeah.
plan. Okay, so we're hearing that the school has X amount of dollars in savings and so on. So I'd like to see the budget.
Forward to the board, their recommendation.
I'm looking at Corey, the executive director. Is that information posted online?
Annual report is online.
Does that include the budget?
It has the budget in there. Budget is not, next year's budget is not. It has this year's operating, that we're still operating. Present that to you at any time as well.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, that's.
Thanks.
Any other questions for Sarah? Okay, sale 250. Is that Debbie?
You want me to do it? So we met last Friday and we got together with our other community departments, partners, not apartments. We discussed planning out our activities for that weekend. Kerr Place has been engaged. We're talking about something at the Kayak Landing, potentially something at Town Square. how we're gonna build out events at HOS, the fireworks, the band, the captain's meeting. All of that we discussed and we want to finalize that at our next meeting. We're talking about what type of advertising tactics we'd like to utilize so that we're promoting the event to the best of our abilities. There's also a grant that's open for some grant matching funds for advertising that we're going to start working on. And then what else did we do? We talked about the sponsorships and merchandise. We had quite a full meeting.
I emailed Playhouse too to engage them as well.
Thank you.
And the Saturday night of that, of that sale weekend, there's gonna be a concert at Cokesbury.
Oh.
And we've mentioned that to the performer and asked her to include some nautical themed things in her selection.
What time is your concert?
7.
Okay, when is our band?
Our band is Friday night.
Is it Friday?
Yeah,
Okay, so it's
yeah. And
fireworks.
the Army, the Navy band will be
And at 4 or something. right?
4-ish. Yeah, so that
Okay.
should be good.
And then,
Then the fireworks will be 9:15-ish when it
okay,
gets
perfect.
started.
That'd be
Yeah.
great. Yeah, so I want to make sure, let's make sure Cokesbury's,
What are the dates you're talking about?
it's the
13th,
12th through the
June
14th.
12th through the 14th, 2026.
Thank you for reminding me, Sarah, because I know you mentioned it.
Yeah.
Completely forgot.
Any other questions for sale 250? Okay, public comment, outside of it. Okay, we got, that's the wrong one. Rosemary, prepare. Yep. Okay, you're good. Kevin Ryan. I think some of these people signed up for the other thing. John, are you leaving? He's John, he just left, right? Dana just left.
It's 9:00.
Priscilla?
I could have anybody left. 9:06, actually.
Priscilla Hart, 21 Market Street. I was a little surprised to just hear that the EDA made a decision that they will not be loaning, but they will be granting money to the historic Onancock School. I didn't know those decisions got made at the last EDA meeting. I did hear comments, well, if we have the money, why don't we just give it to them? But I did not hear complete agreement of EDA members. So I'm really wondering how the EDA is not involved in that, or did I misunderstand?
For any money?
Yeah.
Sure, yes.
Please.
So the EDA has not had a meeting, an official meeting since March. So we've not, except for the joint meeting that we had, and there was no decisions made on either side at that meeting. At that meeting, right before that meeting, I think we learned from our town attorney that it would probably make more sense or potentially make more sense that we give them, not give them the money, but pay for the repairs as town council. And then maybe look at opening up the lease and recouping some of those dollars through a monthly rental situation. The EDA had said, essentially, there's nothing we can do until the town decides to give them money. The town has not made a decision to give them money, the school money, anybody money for this particular scenario yet. So until the town makes a decision, EDA can't chime in on it. So they haven't made a decision either way.
Okay, so nobody's made a decision.
No, nobody's made a decision.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Diane? She's gone? She's gone. And that's it? Anybody else? Okay. Hmm.
Bonnie Warren, 25133 Tower Road. What I wanted to iterate on what Nancy Hodgson was saying, it's 2 properties that were not included in that map to be added. You actually have to go up Tower Road to get to their property. That's why we don't understand. And I think at least one of their properties touch Mount Pleasant or Prospect, sorry. So I just want to iterate it on that. The other thing, yesterday, someone had made a comment about the Welcome Center sign. So I just happened to ride up in town. And when I did, here's a picture. And this picture shows the door was unlocked. I had saw an officer when I came in town and I rode around probably 10 minutes and didn't see one. So I just went on home. So whoever's in charge probably should be better about when you lock the key, you pull on the door, even if you pull it 10 times like I do my own business.
Well, the door automatically locks and the problem is that the automatic mechanism isn't going back. The lock that isn't going, needs to be adjusted to make it tight.
Okay.
Yeah, but I've noticed that we've had problems with the bathrooms. They straightened that out, but this one is still a problem.
So I just thought I'd let you
Yeah, I
be
went
aware.
back yeah, it is. Thank you though for
And
pointing that out.
Like I said, I would have just gone and told the officer the door, was ajar.
Yeah, I've pushed it shut a couple times. Yeah, it's not latching right.
The other thing I'd like to say is, I just happened to go over to I'm probably not going to say this right, but over Boundary Avenue.
That's where the Samuel Blacksmith shop's on. Is that what you're
Yes.
talking about? That's
Yeah.
Boundary.
And I ran into some of the youth back there and I just struck up a conversation with them. And they seem to be very excited about their basketball court finally getting there. And while talking to them, they just said they would really like to have 4 hoops back there. And I think that's probably a good thing for the kids to have.
Well, that's coming. Yeah. Yeah. Three. Yeah. Okay.
I think you said at the last meeting, Matt, you already had them.
No.
The hoops are being. The
Oh,
hoops
you
are
done?
being.
Oh.
Thank you. The hoops
Okay.
are being delivered Wednesday.
Yeah.
And then we're fixing the hydrant on King Street tomorrow and Wednesday and Thursday morning. So they're gonna have next week to install the hoops and we've gotten the stencil for the 3-point line and all of that.
Great.
So, and then after that, the backstop fencing will be put in.
Okay. Thank you.
All right,
All
that's
right.
wonderful. I just thought I'd pass
Yeah.
that they seemed very
thank you.
excited about it.
Any other comment?
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Mayor's report.
Jim McGowan, 29 King Street. I just wanted to mention that the Nelson Farm, the field on Liberty Street, that's in the proposing the boundary line adjustment is zoned R20 in Accomack County, which is 20,000 square foot lots, which are a little less than a half acre each.
Okay.
So
Thank
I
you.
just wanted to say that if Matt wants to confirm that for you, great. I don't have the computer access I used to have, but I just wanted to mention that because it was batted around tonight and
Okay. Thank
I
you.
think that should be known to everybody. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now that everybody's left.
Well,
Yeah, I know. It's right. I know. Okay. Mr. Devaney.
I'll be very brief. The council packets that I look at have had over the last several meetings references to the engineering effort around the Queen Street parking lot. But we haven't received any information about consultation with stakeholders or what the timeline might be. I think it would be very helpful and probably promote transparency
Right.
on this issue if we could get something that summarizes that in the minutes of the meeting.
Right. We've been meeting, we're going to call a stakeholders meeting. We've got the final, we haven't, I don't know if you're aware, but the farmer's market is not going there anymore.
I haven't seen an announcement on that.
Well,
Nobody
it's,
said anything
yeah,
to me about it.
that's, they've decided that that's not going to work for them.
And as
So-
you know,
I
our
know.
issue is not the farm.
Oh, I know.
It's
Yeah.
stormwater.
I know, yeah, and I think you're going to see, we just got the plans just recently, right? Yes, like yesterday. Yeah,
Site plans.
yeah. Yeah, we're gonna, yeah. So, yeah, and you'll,
So
there
what I'm
haven't been a
asking
huge
for
number of
that's great
changes.
is-
Yeah.
Is something that has a calendar with it so we can sort of anticipate.
Yeah, I think Matt's got a calendar. He can give you
Okay,
something.
thank
But you'll be informed on that. Okay, thank you. All right, any other comment, any other public comment? All right, Mayor's, in the interest of, I don't have too much. There is a VML meeting coming up that I'm going to go to, Mayor's thing. I think Lisa's going to go up to Roanoke with me, coming in October. The only other comment, I think we've heard a fair amount about the Northeast Park and, a lot has been happening. I mean, I know people don't think we're doing it at their schedule, but we've done a lot of work up there. The basketball court, we put cameras up there last year. we've spent, I don't know, well over $1 million on renovating, on the projects up there. I don't think we're ignoring that part of the community. I personally decorate for Christmas, I decorate the blacksmith shop. We got a donation from that. We continued the Christmas decorations all the way out to the end of the street because we didn't have power before. We were trying, so that's going all the way out. The flags go out there as far as I know. I don't think that we're neglecting that, or it just that unfortunately things take a little longer with municipal things to get done. We're trying to save money and do it some of ourselves. So it took a while to get the pavement done, but we probably got it at half the cost is if we got Branscombe or somebody to do it. So we are moving forward on that. And I think in the next month, you'll see everything pretty much finished up out there. And I look forward to working with the blacksmith shop. Okay, town manager report.
Go through the financials really quickly. We're 2 months into the fiscal year, which equates to 17%. So we're 17% of the way through the year, and our revenue is exactly 17% of the budgeted 2026 dollars. Our operating expenditures are at 18% of those, but we do have front-loaded expenditures, things like the subscriptions for our wharf software is due all at once at the beginning of the year, things like that. So it's not necessarily proportional, but it's also right in the ballpark of where we're supposed to be. There were no anomalous expenses through the course of the month. We continue to receive sewer billing. I'm going to touch on that briefly in my narrative report. If you scan back to page, let me get the right page. Sorry, there we go. Page 46 has the cash and reserve report. Currently, we have cash and reserves of $5.5 million as compared to last year of $5.1 million. That's a 7% increase year over year in cash position. Our policy requirements for each of the required reserves, the grant match, the capital asset reserve, the general fund reserve, and the utility reserves were all changed based on the 2024 audited financial statements. I'm going to get to those in my report as well. And those current reserves are within 1% of those required policy. I rebalance those every quarter. So at the end of next month, I'll true that up and reappropriate the dollars so that they line up with the policy requirement. So our cash position is strong and good. On the next page, page 47, is the new report called Capital Expenditures and Grant Activity. Through August 31st, you can see that the budgeted capital improvements budget is $954,000. To date, we've spent $7,971, which leaves $946,029 remaining to spend in the current fiscal year for capital budget that the town council approved during the budget process. Our ARPA projects are nearly complete. The Northeast Park and basketball court, if you remember, in addition to the basketball court, you did authorize a $60,000 playground, including the ground requirements up there. So they've gotten a new playground. We're getting a new basketball court that's full size, and the backboards, I think, will impress everybody. So that's about done. It did cost more for the stone underneath the sub base than we thought it was. So we went slightly over budget there, which means that the entry sign in Town Square, rather than $51,000 remaining to spend, we have $44,000 remaining to spend because of that overage. The projects we have remaining for that are moving and installing the street lights at the Town Square, getting the irrigation system installed at Town Square. The irrigation system has been, they just called in the Miss Utility 2 days ago. We got the report this morning, so he was going to schedule it for Saturday. I asked him if he could kick that till early next week because Saturday is such a busy day downtown that I didn't want to have a project underway at the Town Square during farmers market. So hopefully he'll get back to me and be able to push that down the road. We have only one open grant currently. That's the DHCD Northeast Revitalization Grant. That grant amount was $1 million. So far this year, we've been reimbursed $105,000. We spent $133,000, so that means we've got $28,000 left to be reimbursed by DHCD. So we're staying close with that. All of these figures tie out to the internal financial system, right to the dollar. So I'll switch to my report. I mentioned that we're starting the project to reconnect the fire hydrant on King Street. That's going to start in the morning. There are 25 homes that are 25 properties that are affected by the upcoming water disruption. That is going to take place in all likelihood Wednesday or Thursday morning. We're trying to keep it earlier in the day so that we don't disrupt the business at Mallard's too dramatically. But door hangers were put on all of the affected properties today, letting them know that that project was coming up.
Yeah, I got mine when I came out the door to come up here.
Excellent. Excellent. So the street signs, we have to order a couple of different paddles and finials, but other than that, we've got maybe 4 or 5 more signs to put up. The rest of them, the guys have already gotten in. VDOT has provided us with additional information. Sarah has responded to their response with a couple of additional questions about destination signage and some of the directional signage. So we're getting a lot closer than we were on the wayfinding sign. The paving on Crockett Street is complete. That was received very well by the residents and businesses on that road. Parker Street pothole was filled in and the basketball court has been paved. The basketball equipment, as I said, is going to be delivered Wednesday and installed hopefully next week. We have to get 1 or 2 more 3-hour parking signs for the south side of Market Street that's basically over by the movie theater. Let's see, we've gotten the final drawings from Queen Street, and Fletcher, you were right, the Eastern Shore printers can print a 2-foot by 3-foot plot for us. So we sent the PDF over to them this morning. She said it would take them a day. So as soon as I get those back in hand, I'll be in touch so that we can schedule a final review and then a follow-up meeting with the stakeholders. The Planning Commission held its public hearing about the application to rezone the Eller property, which again is up on the entrance to the town. The sign for the restrooms in Onancock Main Street has been ordered. It's been produced. I've seen it. It looks great. They're waiting for the delivery of the bracket to hang it. So, as soon as that comes in, they'll get us on the schedule. And I talked about the King Street Fire Department. And the last thing is the audit has gone through quality control. They had some minor adjustments to disclosures. They're rewriting those, and I can send you the draft copies anytime you want, but as soon as they get them, I'll send them your way. That's all I've got.
Any questions? If you have any questions for Matt, could you, in the interest of time, if they're not specifically for the whole group and just for your information, could you hold them, ask them privately later? Okay, so any questions for Matt?
I still had a question about the PDF on Queen Street. You want me to
Yeah.
talk privately?
Yeah, if it's a technical information about a PDF, yeah, let's keep it private. Bring that
About
up.
the design.
Oh, well, okay, that's a different one. Oh, you're talking about the actual plan, not the,
The actual plan on
Yeah.
those 4 spaces that. we
Over by the
built.
tree?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we on the same wavelength that the spaces that we're proposing would be perpendicular to that fence instead of parallel?
Will the same number of spots fit in, whether they're perpendicular or as they face today, north and south? So we can
So we didn't
reorient
gain
those.
stuff.
There's no difference in the number of spaces that we're going to have.
Okay, well, yeah, we can look at that then.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Matt?
Could you?
Let's go over here first. Go ahead.
I just wanted to, are you still spraying for skeeters?
For the last week or so, it's been too cold and too windy.
Okay. That was the rough part of being out Friday night at the HOS. It was pretty buggy.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Anybody else? Joy?
No.
No. Okay, Sarah?
Could you send all of the council members that PDF of the Queen Street parking lot?
Glad to.
And there was some conversation about the DHCD grant for the Northeast and sidewalk permits and
yeah.
where the money for that is gonna come from, and
Yeah.
that needs to proceed. So what do we need to do to enable that to proceed? Or are we still waiting to see if ANPDC can fund that?
Okay. We had a very, I'll call it an uncomfortable meeting with ANPDC that basically said that a couple of the periodic reports that are required were not done to their satisfaction, so they're not going to be paid for the administrative portion of that part of their contract. That number exceeds the amount that we would need to get the land use permit done by Psalm. So at the end of the meeting, ANPDC was going to meet internally to find out if they could find a way to recover from that mistake. And if they can't, DHCD is willing to use the unfunded portion of their administrative fee to fund the land use permit. That's where that sits right now.
So that's still in motion.
It is still in
and
motion.
Not on our desk.
Correct.
yet.
It is not on our desk. DHCD and ANPDC are working through that.
Thank you.
Yep.
While we're on that subject of sidewalks, I know you all are probably tired of hearing me talk about sidewalks, but since I'm a short timer, I'm going to talk about them. I was so surprised that from Carr Street to Church Street, which is what, Eric, is that 2 blocks, 3 blocks?
Yeah.
$50,000 puts in a sidewalk.
55.
Every time I mention sidewalks, all I hear is, oh, it costs too much. It's too expensive. $50,000. That's not a, drop in the bucket again. So that's all.
Okay.
Is that being done?
It's not going to be done until we figure out how to get the land use permit
Right,
funded.
but it is planned to be done. Yeah, right, yeah.
As long as we get the land use permit funded.
Yeah. Probably because VDOT's not there.
Eric said he was going to take it out of the leftover funds from the demolitions and the repairs.
He can't do that because they've already hit.
I
the-
talked to him today,
Well, he
and he did not mention that.
did not mention that. What I can
Mhm.
mention is that DHCD has put a cap on the amount of engineering expenses that are for this project. They've hit the percentage of total project cost in relation to the engineering. They will not fund $1 more. And there have been submitted expenditures since they hit that number that they're going to have to figure out how to fund those as well.
So it's going to come out of ANPDC's budget.
I can't speak to the future. That's the
But that's the only.
That's the conversation that's happening.
I hope so. All right, any other questions for that? Okay.
One quick question.
Sure.
You pretty much touched on everything that I was gonna ask you earlier. Especially about the basketball court, because I believe you probably talked to my son about the basketball court. He was there. But I just want to verify, because the young lady who got up earlier and asked about the Christmas lights, she asked me about them. She said something to me, it was like July, it's like 103 degrees after Christmas lights. So, but now I've heard the mayor say that there's electricity there now, so there will be lights.
There were last Christmas.
There were last
They were
Christmas. We went all the way out to just by the Eller
Car wash.
property.
Yeah, car wash.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we didn't, we got it, we got the, yeah, they're out there, yeah.
I just don't remember.
And we never have gone down any of the side streets. So
Yeah, no,
I know,
no,
so
no.
yeah.
Yeah,
so,
no,
yeah.
that's what she was just asking.
Yeah, no, I think she's didn't remember, correct, we did go out
I
there.
know, I didn't remember.
Yeah. Okay.
That's it.
Thank you.
Police chief?
Got it.
I figured he knew.
Alright. For August of this year, we had 28 reportable incidents, true, I hate to say true crimes, but reportable crimes. Which is kind of consistent with last year. At the same time, we only had 27. Tickets stayed at 41 were issued. Last year, 43 were issued. So we're staying kind of consistent. As far as that goes. I do have something to report. Most time I get up here and say nothing. This time I have a couple things actually. During this month has been our training month. 2 officers actually had to attend, didn't have to attend. 2 officers attended critical intervention team training, which is for mental health. Faced a reality, years ago when I started, it was if you had a mental health issue, we treated you like a prisoner. That's how it was. Several years ago, it changed. Now we, instead of causing another traumatic experience, we try to work you through your problem. We start to get you to help, but it's not so aggressive or so blunt. So we had 2 officers attend that, which was 40 hours of training. Also, during the same time period, 2 other officers, we attended autism training, Alzheimer's training, elder abuse training, de-escalation, how to talk people down opposed to, and cultural diversity. So this month has been training for us hard. Also take a moment to thank, I'm not sure if you're aware, but 911 Center obtained a $8.2 million grant for new radio systems. They have spent on the town of Anacog approximately $40,000 right now. They got us all new car radios and we're getting new portable radios also. And without that grant and their support, we would have never got them. So 911 Center did look out for us on that one. We also completed finally, it took us 3 months, department inventory. Everything has to be inventoried from a paper towel holder to the car itself. If it's grant funded, we have to inventory it, we have to track it. Example, the security cameras are a 5-year. For 5 years, we have to track every camera, what it does. And some of them go up to 7 years. And as I was doing this, 95% of our items are paid for by grant funding. It's really surprising. Next door, if you walk in there, everything's paid for except for they won't pay for a chair. I don't understand. We've got desk, tables, they won't pay for a chair. So every chair in my desk is by the only things that have not been grant funded some way next door. So, and happy to say we found everything. We did still have everything, nothing lost except for 2 fire extinguishers, and we found them. They were used.
Good.
So, and our new officer's making out well. He still should be graduating in November.
Any questions for the chief?
I believe there was 2 questions last month.
Okay.
Yep. The foster care month. The reason it was so late, I'm not exaggerating. The day before the month started, I saw it on the news and said, hey, that'll be a good idea. So that's why it was no notice for that whatsoever. I literally walked in the office the day before and passed it down. So that's why the foster care stuff was not advertised so much. And I believe you had one of the incidents.
There was a calculation, a missing persons count that
Yeah.
didn't add up.
Yeah.
And I think you replied to that in email.
Yeah. Just so you know, these reports that I do for you don't come out of one computer system. They go into one, but it won't print out together. I literally have to do 3 different reports and I have to combine them. So yeah, I made a mistake.
That's okay. It just was kind of amusing that there was a missing person in the missing persons report.
That's all I got to say.
Okay, any other questions for the chief?
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Town council comments. Omar? Ashley? Sarah?
Nope, thank you.
Cindy?
In listening to the public comments tonight, it struck me that people get misimpressions of things because they're lacking information and they interpret that as a lack of transparency, and it's really hard when we can't respond to their concerns. So I was wondering if perhaps we could consider some way to respond to the people and their comments when they just don't understand what's going on or what has happened.
You're talking about at a public hearing meeting?
Yeah, the public comments, because I think it fosters a sense of discontent, and it's more to me a lack of information than things are not being done. It's just that they don't understand what's being done. And I was just sitting here wondering if there's some way we could address that.
Well, we were trying to answer questions that I was writing down, but I didn't think I had a lot of questions. At this one,
It would take us 2 days to answer them all, at the same time they're asked.
well, that's the problem. We can't come up with answers. So, yeah, I know. It's a quandary, but
It really is.
I think we answered a lot of them, but some we couldn't. Yeah, all right.
I want to thank Sarah and Jim McGowan for being here. Thank you. I mean, look, council, who's left? It's 9:35. Could we possibly consider moving our meeting up earlier? I'm not looking at anybody. I am saying we've got, this is.
Well, you need to make a motion for the next meeting.
Next meeting.
Make a motion.
Is there any reason why council could not meet earlier? Are there any other committees in town that meet at 7 o'clock and go till 9:30 or 10 o'clock at night? No. No. We need to take into consideration the people who are attending. It was embarrassing, you could tell, for them to get up and walk out.
Oh, I think they might have done that even if we started at 5, but yeah.
That they were here for specific.
Sure.
Yeah,
one
they-
thing and they
Yeah.
were.
Yeah.
Yes.
To make a motion, I agree. I agree with you. I think Sarah.
I
had an
can't
issue,
do
think,
this
didn't
much
you?
longer.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
People that work have an issue.
People that work are the only ones that, to me, might. have an
Ashley,
issue with-
Omar, Sarah, what's your thoughts? Sounds good.
What do you?
5:30 is
I'm
great.
sorry, what you say? You want to move it?
What would you like? 5:30?
Oh.
Yeah, yeah,
I prefer the time as it is.
because you like to have these two people?
No, Joy, because to eat dinner at 4:30 is not feasible. To come or at 5
I'm not
o'clock.
saying 5 o'clock. I'm saying 6 is more reasonable. That gives you 5 to 6 to have dinner.
And that's too early for dinner.
Too early for dinner?
Yeah.
I eat it after I leave.
What time do you eat dinner?
Let's not, let's not get into this.
right.
She has the right to eat dinner whenever she wants. Yeah, let's, if you want to make a motion, it's, majority rules. Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, what else we got? Anybody, we got, Lisa.
I don't have anything else. to say.
Okay, thank you. Do we have a motion to go into closed session?
Yes, as allowed by Virginia Code 2.2-3711A1, I move that we enter closed session to discuss the town manager's annual performance evaluation.
A second on that?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're coming back out, at about hopefully as soon as possible.